Hey there, carnivores. I'm back home. In case you hadn't heard, I've been in the hospital a couple days. Actually, 3 nights, 4 days. Um, just to give you an explanation, if you hadn't seen my post on Facebook, on my Hoosier Carnivore Facebook page, had a blood pressure issue and ended up having what they called a TIA mini stroke. Now, don't be alarmed. It was very, very mild. And I was working from home on Friday, had a little bit of numbness in my left hand, and then my arm started getting a little numb, and then I felt it move into the left side of my face and my lip a little bit. So I pretty well knew something wasn't right. That's not supposed to happen. And I've got like a little carpal tunnel in my left wrist. So occasionally I get a little numbness on my fingertips, but it goes away really, really quick. But this wasn't going away. So I wasn't feeling quite right. I was feeling a little off kilter. So I went upstairs, and my mom was at the house. And I told her, I wasn't feeling quite right. Told her what was happening with the numbness, and I said I want to go in and get checked out. Probably need to go to the ER. Just be better safe than sorry. And this time I was better safe. Otherwise, I probably would have been pretty sorry. They got me in. They checked my blood pressure. It was way up. It was over 200, and it was over 200 over. It was actually, I think it was, I don't know. It was really high. I can't remember exactly, but it was over 200 for the top number, and man, I didn't feel bad the whole time. Didn't really feel, no dizziness, no, typical stroke symptoms other than the numbness. They gave me some blood pressure medication, and almost immediately the numbness went away, and it hasn't returned. So that's really great, and that's why I say it was a very light event, but I definitely don't want it to happen again. Now, I was in there for 3 days, I guess, or 3 nights, almost four whole days. And the reason I was in there for so long is they were trying to figure out, well, they were running tests, but they were trying to figure out kind of the cocktail of blood pressure medications to put me on to get me down to a reasonable level. So that finally happened on yesterday afternoon. It finally started coming down to a reasonable level, and then they let me go home. But they ran a CAT scan, both with saline and the contrasting dye, and that came back fine. They ran an MRI, and that came back fine. And they ran an echocardiogram to check my heart, and that came back fine. Now, they did say that the one side of my heart had thicker wall of muscle to it than it normally should have, which means my heart has like Arnold muscles, from working so hard for probably, I don't know, a long time, but my guess is, bugs out here, but my guess is I've been living with an undiagnosed high blood pressure issue for a while. And I believe that's what triggered the event. So now I'm on blood pressure meds. I'm on I'm on like 5 different drugs they put me on. So new goals for healing, new goals for recovering. Just gonna take this easy. He said I can still go ahead and lift weights and walk, and they encourage doing all that because that will lower blood pressure over time. And I'm cutting out coffee, just cutting out anything that's going to benefit or give me any kind of edge to control my blood pressure until I can start weaning off of these drugs. And I think the best way to do that is to continue doing carnivore. I don't have any plans on really changing my diet, but they do want me to lighten up on the salt, which I think is a reasonable request. So I'll lighten up on the salt a little bit. I'm going to see if I can find a pretty good potassium and magnesium supplement that doesn't have too much salt in it, if I can find one. And just continue to lose weight. And I feel, and the doctors feel too, that if I can manage to lose my excess weight, a lot of this will calm down and resolve on its own. I'm sure you guys are going to have questions. If you want to post something, post a question in the comments. I'll do my best to try to answer those for you. But just to let everybody know, I'm doing fine. I'm feeling fine. I'm back at home. Big Joe's back here. Probably fire him up in a couple of days. I'm just taking it easy. Gonna be in my recliner. Just kind of taking a break from work and, from life, and just kind of kick back, relax, let these drugs they put me on do their magic, and figure out a way to manage this thing to where I don't have another problem. So, well, I want to step back for just a little bit. As most of you know, I was off plan for a while. I went probably a year, maybe a little more than a year, where I wasn't the best carnivore. I went back to a lot of old habits, snacks and, fast food and things like that. And then when meat stock came around in May, the first week of May, I decided to do my carnivore restart. Well, it's probably good that I did. And I believe that this whole thing may have been worse if I hadn't have got back on the wagon when I did. Just a theory, may or may not. But I think the blood pressure issue that I had long before I'd gotten healthier on carnivore, and I think that year off where I gained a bunch of weight back and having blood sugar control problems again, I think my high blood pressure came back. I didn't go to the doctor. Shame on me. And I've been living with a high blood pressure issue for probably at least a year or more. And I believe that's kind of what did it to me. So this, I believe, is probably my final warning shot across the bow from my body, saying, get right or else. I think this is, I think my restart chances are pretty well used up. I don't think I have much more leeway. I'm on my 9th life if I was a cat. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, what I'm thinking, how I'm feeling, and going to work with my doctor to, keep my blood pressure under control. If I have to be on these blood pressure drugs for a while, I'm going to do it until I can work my way off of them. So that is a goal. I'm not going to be on these things forever. I'm going to lose the weight. I'm going to get things under control. You're going to see a lot lighter me, and get off these drugs and things that they have me on. So post your comments, post your questions. Thank you for everyone, all my friends, all my family, all my carnivore family, all the prayers and well wishes that I got. I received so many responses on my Facebook posting that when the first day I went into the hospital, to just kind of let you guys know what was happening with me. So thank you to everyone who did that, and thanks again for thinking about me. And I love you all too. And we'll kick this. We'll kick this hard. We'll see you later. I'll update you again. Bye.